They are just blown away at what an incredible life they get to lead in this home, and then they go and tell all their friends and family.
All right, everything Amelia and I are doing at Live Life Build is all about getting the best outcome we can for clients that are wanting to build and renovate. And so we're not afraid to stir things up and tell people how it is. And I think this one's going to be one of those, Amelia. So what would you say to builders that feel it's too hard to collaborate with designers and architects? Maybe they've worked for a lot of them in the past and they've had bad experiences. It hasn't worked out well. They haven't made money on a job. They maybe didn't manage it correctly. Or perhaps they even think that they're just better at it. They might be able to pull off the design better than what a designer or architect can.
Yeah, this is an interesting one, isn't it? Because it is a bit of a contentious issue in the industry. And we're firm believers that there are specific roles in the industry for a specific reason, and that the best way for a homeowner to get the best result for their finished home is to have those roles in the industry working to their best capacity, to their best potential. So that's when designers design and builders build. My firm belief is that designers aren't builders, architects aren't builders, and in the same way that builders aren't designers. And I've seen lots of problems out there where, understandably, I can see why builders have had some issues with architects and designers. There can be some challenging industry professionals out there who don't respect the value that builders offer, who don't work well with builders, who are very dismissive and disrespectful of builders. And equally, there are builders out there who think that architects and designers aren't necessary, that they like design or that they can design. Ultimately, though, the training of both of these professions, of designers and of builders, is entirely different for a very good reason, because the process of building a home is very, very different to the process of designing a home. And I think that a much better solution for the homeowner is to get that collaboration working really well and get the industry professionals doing the right jobs in the right way.
Yeah, and look, I must confess, since we didn't do the PAC process and I'm so involved in the design stage, it has actually made me such a better builder. Stepping back, not taking, because we did it in the past. We would start jobs and the designer or the architect would be done, they'd be paid, and the client would come to us with the plans, and we'd start the building, and on site the client would be wanting to move windows around or change the width of a hallway. And back in the day, I just thought nothing of it. I was like, well, it's your home. If you want it done, if you want to pay a variation and you want us to make changes, and it is what it is. And I just can't believe that I even used to do that, because knowing what I know now, designers and architects do everything for a reason. And if a designer's had a fantastic design brief, I've found by sitting in these meetings, they're figuring out how clients live, their hobbies, their family, are they going to age in place, all these types of things. I don't understand any of that. So, at the end of the day, I need to let the other professionals around me do their job and do it well. And ultimately, that ends up being my business card.
Yes, that's the thing, is that when homeowners go to look for professionals to work with, they're looking at finished homes, they're looking at photographs of finished homes, they're looking at things online. And so those finished homes do become your business card as a builder. And so having a think about what kind of business card you want and what do you want those finished homes to look like becomes really important. The other thing too is that you can build the most incredibly quality, fantastic home, but if it's poorly designed, if it's expensive to heat and cool, if it doesn't work functionally, if it causes the homeowner daily frustration, they won't remember how well it's been built. They'll just remember that they hate living there because everything gets in their way. And instead, and you've seen this experience firsthand, where a homeowner has moved into their finished home and they can't believe because how well they get to live there, because the design of it has totally transformed their experience of everyday life. And and you've done a great job as a builder, that combination has meant that they are just blown away at what an incredible life they get to lead in this home. And then they go and tell all their friends and family about what this, they couldn't even anticipate how amazing this could be for themselves.
Yeah, and I must admit, I didn't understand when it came to all that. And like I said, sitting through these design meetings and like building incredible relationships with designers and architects that we can collaborate and work together has just really enhanced my understanding of why things get done. And we've had a few of our own experiences now as well, where we've done our own projects. And for builders out there that are smashing out jobs, that haven't got a designer or architect involved, they are making changes on the job, there is far more behind why something's been done. Like I honestly did not understand this for a second. Like even like a kitchen living space, for example, like how it all interacts, how it works, like can change. Like if someone is right into cooking, or they've got a busy family, or both parents, like there's so many different reasons that can change the outcome for a designer or architect around why something gets designed. And like a builder can stuff that up just like that.
I've had this experience so many times when I practiced architecture and worked very closely with clients on a regular basis, but I wasn't hired the whole way through construction. So I would work up to the point of then going with the builder, and then I would just be available on an hourly rate for them to call me. And oftentimes there would be a discussion on site with the builder where the builder had come to them and said, look, if we change this, it'll be faster to build, or it'll be cheap, it'll cost less, what do you want to do? And they would, of course, go, oh, okay, that sounds like a good thing. But they wouldn't have understood that by changing that was going to have this flow-on effect that then was going to impact something they actually really cared about. And it wasn't, and the builder hadn't understood that because they hadn't been involved in understanding why that was there that way and why it was a priority for them. So the builder would make that change, and then they'd get to that point in the project and all of a sudden it would look the way that it was, and they'd be so disappointed. And it would be like, well, it's because nobody had understood what was going to happen. And at the end of the day, they'd ended up with something that actually just disappointed them long term. And so for me, getting these collaborations right is really important. And it can't be, I think one of the mistakes that often happens with creating these collaborations is oftentimes it can be, look, if you use us, we'll use you. So, architects might contact builders and say, oh yeah, look, if we send jobs your way, you send jobs our way. And that's not what collaboration looks like. You want to actually create collaborations with professionals who respect what you do, who respect and value the input and the contribution that you can make, who respect how you work and how you run your business, and are like-minded with the way that you do things, and you actually get along as people, because then you can create these really fantastic relationships with like-minded professionals who then can sell you into the process. So, if an architect is being asked, do you know a builder? They know that you're someone who cares about the work that they do, who cares about the designs that they do, and also is going to help them be better. I've had such fantastic relationships with builders. I wouldn't be the architect I am if it wasn't for builders who took me under their wing, who spurred me on, who challenged me, who really had me stretch and justify and talk through, So I remember early in my career, I'd be designing things and you'd show a builder and they'd say, do you have any idea how much time that's going to take me to build? And it was only through us sort of being able to talk through things and me understand, I'd not been taught how to build a house in my architectural degree. And so, being able to sort of say, okay, all right, but if we do this and this and this, yep, that will work. My design's not compromised, and equally, they could then understand, because they, as a builder, you're not taught why designing for orientation is important, or about, all of the various aspects about flow and functionality and all of the things that we spend time learning. And so that beautiful professional camaraderie just actually helps you both be better.
Yeah, and then it's like collaboration is sitting down. It's being involved in meetings. It's like you said. It's definitely not picking up the phone and saying, "Hey, I've got a job over here. Do you want to share? Like, I'll give you this one. You send a client my way." Like, it's being involved. It's creating a team. It's sitting down at team meetings. It's having phone conversations during the process, and it's learning from each other. But I do think that a lot of builders probably think that the process is too hard because they're trying to work with the wrong people.
Most
Like
definitely.
and I definitely got myself into this situation for a long time. I was trying to work with architects because I loved the house they were designing. I wanted to win the awards too. And it just kept getting me in trouble. It wasn't until I started finding designers and architects that were like-minded people to me, had similar interests and hobbies, and we could connect on a deeper level. So it wasn't just about sitting down around a table and discussing a client's project. It was having a bit of a laugh every now and then, maybe even catching up for a beer here and there. But when you can get that relationship, collaboration is incredible. It enhances your business. It becomes your business card. It becomes your marketing. You have the designer and the architect referring you.
And you actually get to enjoy the people that you're working with because you do have that personal fit. You know, you don't have you're not working with somebody who actually doesn't respect and value what you do.
Yeah. So if you're finding the collaboration process too hard with designers and architects, I would suggest that you're possibly working with the wrong people, and open your doors, start having a look around and try and introduce yourself to new people.